Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about to happen. What Lee, what's it, like 16 weeks away?
16
March.
weeks. Less than 90 days, man.
There's like Christmas coming, and then there's like Christmas coming even more. We've been so looking forward to this. So welcome, everybody. CLTFC Fan TV, for the fans, by the fans.
Damn it.
Damn it. So tonight, our special guest, who we've been wanting to talk to for so long. Thank you. We've hugged many times in different places, and now we can virtually hug him and talk to him. Bobby Belair, Director of Player Personnel. I mean, the grease of the wheels, the sauce making it happen, in between all sorts of stuff. Thank you, Bobby, so much for coming on. Lee, take it away.
Yeah, man. Bobby, man, appreciate it. We've been trying to get you on for some time, and I think it actually worked out to our benefit to have you on so close to the draft. So, man, we'll just show. So,
yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I would have preferred to be a little bit earlier. It's past my bedtime already, fellas. But
yeah, I know. What is it with you and Woody, man? Oh, Woody goes to bed at like 8 o'clock.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and just want to say hi to all the fans out there that are watching. We're excited, and we got a lot of exciting things upcoming and to announce soon. So happy to be on here.
So, Bobby, man, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of tell us what you do at the club? So for the people out there that might not know your actual role within Charlotte FC, exactly what you do.
Yeah. So I'm the Director of Player Personnel. And so my main role is to oversee the salary cap, and I assist with player recruitment. So I work closely with our sporting director, Zoran Granetta, our whole scouting team led by Thomas Shalling, our technical director, Mark Nichols, and then obviously our coaching staff. And so we're all working together right now to build the roster. And so part of my other responsibilities are to oversee the player relocation. And a bit of that now has been with an expansion club staff relocation too. So we officially have our staff in, and it's great to have them all in the same building. We're all working together now, day in and day out, like we have been, but it's just nice to have everyone in person.
So the entire coaching staff.
This is where I have to come in.
Come on in.
He was so nice to say relocation. Now, just the logistics of anyone moving sucks. Let's just throw that out there. Moving always sucks. So the logistics of moving from one place to another, married, not, kids, not, whatever the scene is, good market here, bad market there. But then to have to do that with a lot of personnel and then with a brand new team, and then this is the crazy part, international and interpretation thereof. And I guess it's a good thing, but the Charlotte market real estate is bonkers right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the relocation part, I mean, that's got to be intense.
Yeah, it's no joke. I mean, look, obviously, anytime you move is stressful, and so for you add on to the fact that for staff and for players, they want to get here and get to work right away and be comfortable. So I'm blessed. I have an amazing team around me. Our player liaison, Elena Lemus, has been fantastic. Our team administrator, Spencer Regier, is a rock star, and our we have other people around helping us as well. But yeah, so I mean, look, the goal is to get them here, make them feel at home as quickly as possible. We have some great partners in the community that we're working with on the housing front, whether they want to rent or look to buy. And then little things like getting a cell phone, you have to get a social security number right away. So all those things come into play, and it's just it's a big effort.
Are there any like I'm just thinking like the welcome when you move to a new place, like the mail used to send you like different coupons and stuff. Is there any like welcome, like a Bojangles? Here's $250 gift certificate of Bojangles. Welcome to Carolina from Uruguay or from wherever you might be coming from.
Yeah, we have a little welcome packet for everyone, and then we like to try to obviously make them feel at home with what they're used to, but at the same time say, hey, look, this is what Carolina is all about. We like to take them to a couple different spots around town, whether it's a barbecue joint or something like that. So yeah, there's a little bit of that too, JT.
Nice.
So earlier we had interviewed Bronico, and we had talked about this bus tour with all the players, like the open bus, and Bronico was going to kind of talk as we went through, kind of like the ghost tour through like Savannah or something, right? So can we still get that to go on once you get through this week?
It's not a bad idea, but I'll say this, Lee, like we got so much going on that's on the lower, the bottom end of the pages that we have going on the priority list.
Well, we just want to start kind of chipping that flag into the ground so that later in the season, I mean, I pitched to the marketing people. It's a great idea to have Bronico on a tour bus, literally at the front, explaining things, and then interpretations of different players. It's gold, Bobby. It's gold.
Not a bad idea. We could paint his face, maybe,
Yeah, painting his face. Bronico's a good-looking guy. Come on now. No painting face. He just needs to be able to speak about things going around.
All right, Bobby. So we got some big dates coming up, man. The first one's going to be Sunday, right? At the trade day. So all of these trades possibly that you guys have it ready to pounce on and for us to all be excited about on Twitter on the 12th. So, tell us a little bit how you guys kind of prep for that. Like obviously you can't tell us all the top secrets and all that, but, just kind of give us a general rundown of how that works and what we can expect, or should expect.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we've had a lot of time to prepare now. And so we've been speaking with clubs, speaking with agents. And so we're trying to obviously build a roster of about 25 to 30 players. So it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy, but it's a whole club process, really. And so I think what you're asking, whenever we do finalize a trade, we, throughout that process, we're looping in our communications and PR staff, digital media staff, so that we can present it to you all and to everyone in the best way possible. So we all get on the same page. We have meetings about this kind of stuff. And so December 12th is the day where the half-day trade window opens after MLS Cup. And so you'll see across the league, trades that have already been agreed to are allowed to be announced. And that's, right before the expansion draft.
Yeah. So who was that player that we got already?
What player?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and do it here, like, it's just us three. So nobody else would know. We won't tweet it. Promise.
We're just recording this.
We're just recording. That's right. We'll get to edit it before it goes out. what I heard.
Yeah. So all right. So we got the trade coming up. So let's talk about like the contracts. Like because you've got to watch the salary caps. You've got to watch, obviously the amount of international players you got on, and like you said, you got to build out this squad, right? So, can you talk to maybe some of those pieces, like how that works and what you guys really have to kind of deal with in order, because essentially they're getting a contract with the MLS, if I'm not mistaken, right? Versus the club itself.
Yeah, that's correct. So the players are actually employed by MLS. So we could go into the whole how that works accounting wise, but that's the boring stuff.
Right.
But essentially, the top 20 players are in the senior roster, and those are the players that count. Their salaries, their budget charges count against the salary cap. And so we have $4.9 million each team.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 3 players called designated players that they're only hit against the salary cap at a certain amount, but you can pay them beyond that, and their transfer fees don't count towards that either. So there's, teams do actually spend more than 4.9 million. And that's where the allocation money comes in.
Right.
So as a simple example, if a player is paid $1 million, the max budget charge is $612,000. So then you would have to apply this allocation money, general allocation or targeted allocation, to buy down the player's budget charge. So in that example, it would be about $400,000 that you would have to spend in order to become roster salary cap compliant. And then all 20 of those players have to be under the 4.9 million.
Gotcha.
Question. So as a new fan, or just the MLS for sure, so as I understand it, the DPs, as we call them,
yep,
they can be paid whatever beyond the cap hit of $600K.
That's right.
So your DPs are your best players. So
they should be. You're scouting right.
Theoretically, with the money, so you would say, yeah, the vernacular would be our three DPs are blank, blank, and blank.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so okay.
Yeah.
Just for in the future, everybody, just as I'm learning, I want everyone else to learn who doesn't. It's like, hey, who are your DPs, man? These are they. So, all right.
Yep, that's right.
But then you've got the new young money too, right? That kind of comes into play with that. So can you maybe explain that, Bobby?
Yeah. So to better explain it, I'll say there's senior DPs, and so those guys are over 23 years old, and they hit your cap at that max charge, 600. And then there's young designated players, and those players are under 23 years old, and they hit your cap at $200,000. So this year was the first year of the under 22 player initiative. And so now teams can also have 3 of those, and those similarly, you can pay them above, what their budget charge is, but their budget charge would only be $200,000. So essentially it's just trying to bring in younger players into this league, try to, develop them and then sell them on. And it's, I think in the first year, we've seen some interesting players come into the league via that, player acquisition mechanism.
Right.
So it's something that's going to keep growing and building, and it's something that we'll look to utilize as well.
I know it's got to be obviously challenging, and you've obviously got to be very talented to be able to navigate all these this constant stream and flow of, and not even just translate the money and the currency and all that stuff. But does it excite you to be a part of such a young league that also is figuring it out as it goes, compared to like something that's been around a long time? You're like, hey, well, actually this, it's got to be challenging and fun at the same time.
That's absolutely right. Look, the rules are changing and getting better. The league is trying to grow and figure out what's right. But I tell you what else is also so exciting for me, JT, is that I'm from Carolina, and I'm here, helping to build this club for all Carolinians across North and South Carolina. So that was really big for me, and something that I, will take pride in as long as I'm here. But you're absolutely right. Look, it's a young league. We're only 25, 26 years in now, and there's so much room for growth here in the United States. We're already seeing it. And what I think what's also so exciting is that we're going to be able to see our young academy kids come through the pipeline and see what they can do in their careers. And hopefully a lot of them will go on to do big things, whether that's on the field or just growing as people in general and being good human beings and being active in the community and that sort of thing. You already see it with our academy. So a lot of those things excite me, and it's great to be a part of it for sure.
So the big date that we're all kind of excited for is the 14th, right? The expansion draft. So, without, I guess, giving away names, because there's a couple I'm going to bring up here in a little bit that you might know or might not know, but, kind of give us a rundown, right? You guys are in like some sort of office, right? You've obviously got the players that you kind of looking at and would really like, but then you kind of have to figure out, again, the salary cap, positions that need to be filled and that sort of thing. So, what's the kind of conversation between you and like Zoran and Miguel and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's definitely a lot of different scenarios that we're going through, and depending on what players are protected or what players are left exposed, we might run through another 50 to 100 scenarios just in the span of that 48 hours whenever the unprotected list comes out. Because as you just said, if we select one player, then that'll affect the salary cap and what we could do in other positions. So look, we have done our best to look at every single roster. There's 5 teams that are exempt because Austin selected from them last year. So we've done our best to look at those rosters, analyze them, see how they did this year, obviously scout them, but then try to guess who they're going to leave unprotected, and focus our scouting on those players throughout the year. Now, obviously there's going to be some surprises. So we've kind of left a wider gap of the pool of players that we think could be left exposed. And so, look, we've done our homework and we've talked to all these clubs as well and had open conversations with some of them. And some of those conversations had led to trades or deals beforehand. And some of them, we expect a lot of clubs to come calling on expansion draft day, looking to make trades with us for us to select a player for them and then trade them afterwards. So it's going to be an interesting day and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a wild 48 hours for sure.
Yeah, we're all stoked, man. I know there's going to be something at the stadium, right? Having some of the fans in. We're talking about possibly doing a live show. Might have a man on the street in the stadium. So yeah, we're gonna cover that too. So Charles has a question, right? And he says, do college players born in foreign countries usually require international slots, or do they obtain the domestic status before the super draft generally?
Yeah, so those guys, international players in college, retain their international status. So they don't just get domestic status because they played in college. There's ways to try to change players' status from international to domestic. It takes time and a lot of effort and energy, but no, to answer the question straight up, it's just they stay with whatever status they have in the country currently.
Right on. Yeah, so back to the draft. So the 14th, like you said, right? It depends on who's available and that sort of thing. So when do they like send you guys the list to say, all right, these are the ones that we're protecting? Like, so how much leadway do you have before you have to kind of go back and like scratch everything up, start all over again, right?
Yeah. So MLS Cup is on the 11th. And then all the clubs are required to submit their lists of who they're going to protect on the 12th. And then, we have the draft at 7 p.m. on the 14th. So we're expecting about 48 hours of lead time to make our selections, answer all these phone calls from other clubs, potentially make a couple trades, so right. If we do select 5 players, we might end up with 4, or we might end up with 3 if there's a good trade out there that we can't, pass up. So we're looking at all different types of scenarios, and we're really just trying to create the most value that we can out of the expansion draft.
How many as the expansion draft, since this is, I'm assuming, the only time we'll ever have this.
Yeah.
Exactly. How many do we have that is part of the draft? Is it 6 or is it 4?
So we have 5 picks.
5 picks.
Yeah.
5 picks. Yeah. And once on the 12th, by whatever time, midnight, once that official list comes out, y'all will just mix up your spreadsheets or however you do it. That he's not available, and then that's got to be a flurry.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, to know it's coming like that, like just sitting there, like, all right, it's 10 p.m. on the 12th. Who do we got? All right, exactly. We got 5 picks. We can take whoever we want.
That's right, and we can select 1 player from each team. So each club can only lose 1 player.
Right.
And then
besides the 5 teams that Austin picked from last year.
Correct. Yep. And then each club can protect 12 players. So we're picking from.
You know what that kind of feels like to me, Bobby Belair?
What's that?
It feels like to me like if you ever went to an arcade, an old school arcade, when someone had a birthday party there and you didn't have to put a quarter in, and like you could just go play any game, and the guy would open up the thing for the crane machine and let you pick a stuffed animal out.
What birthday parties do you go to, JT? I never.
I'm telling you, man, those are high living late 80s birthday parties.
Man.
The crane operator was like, listen, I'm going to open it up, pick whichever one you want out. But you got 5 picks. That's great.
So to the picks and the trades and stuff, are any deals being done behind the scenes? Can you do that stuff before the list is done? Like saying like, you know, hey, we might not pick from you, Mr. I don't know, Toronto, but you know, this over here is what we want, right? Kind of you scratch my back, I scratch your back sort of thing.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So you can do, you know, kind of handshake agreements, you know, provide some sort of asset, you know, trade for a player and then agree to that trade. Like we're not going to, we'll give you expansion draft protection.
Right.
But look, we're trying to leave our options open. We're trying to remain flexible. And so look, you can't do business with your hands tied behind your back.
That's right. That's right.
That's great. That's great that we have the hand. It's like, you're going to be Toronto. You're going to be protected.
Yeah.
Protected. Don't you worry about it. Hey, you're going to be good.
Was that a little Godfather reference?
Yeah, a little God. Yeah, we got the 5 picks. You're going to be okay, Toronto.
I love it.
You missed his calling. So, Bobby, man, I'm going to throw 2 names out there to you. The first one is Alan Franco. Do you know who he is by any chance? You know, is he possibly coming to Charlotte to come watch a game, play a game?
Who'd you say?
Alan Franco.
Alan Franco. Is that your buddy or who's that?
That's right. Yeah. So, all right, there's another one I'm going to throw out there too. And I appreciate you telling us that, you know, there's a possibility we might get him. I don't know. That's the way I took it. Radini, I'm going to screw this name up. Like I said earlier, I wish these guys' names were like Smith and Jones, but this is something I struggle with. Radini, Rodinei.
That sounds like some sort of a fancy Italian pasta to me.
So are we buying pasta?
Back to the Godfather.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, look, Lee, I know we can't comment on rumors. We'd be commenting all day. I think we've been linked to a lot of players, and it's exciting for us to be linked to players, and it's great for the fans, you know, and it's just going to be one of those things where it's going to happen every single year and around the clock, and we'll get linked to players, and then we'll just have to, you know, wait to see whether those rumors are true.
Right. All right, so let's go back. I won't push you too hard on the players.
Appreciate that. I don't want to get fired tonight, Lee.
Yeah. Well, we need you. We need you on the 12th.
Actually happen tomorrow morning. It wouldn't happen tonight. They're like, let him sleep. Let him sleep.
So back to draft day. Is it kind of like, you know, how we picture it in the NFL, for instance, right? You know, the clock's ticking. You know, everybody's making calls, and then it's like, all right, the Panthers
make Costner somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like a mixture of that and like Moneyball. That movie. No, we'll definitely be kind of in that war room mentality for sure for 48 hours. We'll try to get a little bit of sleep. I might bring my sleeping bag if you have a good one to recommend to the office. But yeah, we'll need to be around each other and working together. And I think all of our phones will be ringing nonstop. But look, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's also going to be a great opportunity for us to kind of build a little camaraderie and start building our culture together as a staff. And then, you know, obviously once we pick a few players and add them to the roster, then we can add them to the group chat with the players, you know, get them speaking to each other. And, you know, we'll move on to the next thing, which, you know, we got free agency, re-entry draft, all these other things coming up before Christmas.
Yeah. What dates does all that kind of go into play? You mentioned like free agency and that.
Yeah. So free agency opens right after the expansion draft on the 15th.
Okay.
So players that are over 24 years old and have at least 5 years of MLS experience and are out of contract are eligible to be free agents. So that opens up on the 15th. We have the waiver draft as well, which is players that are out of contract that don't necessarily qualify for free agency. And then the re-entry draft on the 17th. So that's
like a roller coaster.
It is.
But it's like with the expansion draft, It's like the beginning of the roller coaster. You've got your special, the Charlotte FC's got this crazy whatever, new loop-de-loop, the best thing. And then, oh, by the way, regular free agency, and then other free agency, and then that's nuts.
That's
Yeah,
right.
It's going to be fun. And right before Christmas, these are days you'll never forget, Bobby Belair.
Yeah, hey, there's days that you'll never forget, JT. You know, we'll be bringing you Christmas gifts, you know, beforehand. It's like when your aunt sends you a Christmas gift, you get to open it before Christmas.
That's right. Bobby Belair, you and I are cut from the same cloth, sir.
That's right. That's right.
So, Bobby, Sean asked a good question, right? Do you get a chance to speak to these players before you, select them for the expansion draft, or like, because if they're like, screw it, we're not coming to Charlotte, right? Want nothing to do with it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, yeah, certainly we will. Look, I think the first things first, we'll want to be good partners. Not necessarily partners, but a good club to other clubs, because we're going to be doing business with them over the course of the year. So we'll reach out to the club first, let them know, and then we'll speak with the agent and the player, and make sure that he wants to come, make sure everything's good. And so, yeah, for sure, that's a good question, Sean. But yeah, our plan is definitely to bring in players that want to be here, want to work hard for the club, want to work hard for the fans. So yes, we will speak to them beforehand.
All right, cool. And Churchy, what's up, Churchy? He's saying, can we trade for more like international spots, as well, instead of, I'm assuming the expansion draft, right?
Yep. So every club starts the year with 8, and you can trade for international slots using general allocation money. And so they've been going, for the increasingly more valuable across the league. But yeah, that you can trade for international slots.
Yeah, I mean, I know we snagged 2, right, from Nashville, I believe it was. Is that correct? We got 2 more spots. Didn't we get 2 more spots from somebody? I thought I heard about it.
I mean, maybe it was in one of your dreams.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
I don't want to get inside your head of those dreams, Lee. I don't know.
I think that was a Twitter thing I'd seen and ran with. I can't remember. I have to go back and see my Twitter screenshot.
How far can you run?
Not very far. I'm only Yeah. So, Top Ben, what's up, buddy? So he's asking, Charlotte signed local players that have either played in college or from North Carolina, like Barnaco and Armour. Could we expect more players from this area in the draft?
Yeah, hopefully. Look, we got to see who's available in the expansion draft. If any, the players there's a lot of good players in the league from Charlotte, from North Carolina, that are, in South Carolina as well, that are currently playing for other clubs. If they're open, I think it would definitely be, something that we're going to look into. And then similar for the college, the super draft in January, there's definitely a lot of players that we're looking at from this area as well.
What's the super draft real quick? I know we touched on the other ones, but give us a bullet point on that.
Yeah, so the super draft is the college draft. And so we are actually going this weekend to Cary, North Carolina. My Clemson Tigers are in the Final Four. And so they have the Final Four on the 10th and then the final on the 12th. And then in between, they do a college combine for the top seniors and some of the top underclassmen as well. And so all the scouts and the clubs get to go watch them before the super draft in order to make an informed pick. And we've been doing a lot of scouting on the college players throughout this year and even last year, so we feel pretty prepared for that as well. But this combine will be nice.
But it's a combine like you have to be invited.
Yes.
And all
invited, yeah.
And they're doing it at the facility right there in Cary. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a big weekend this weekend. We have, like I said, the College Cup, then we have MLS Cup on the 11th, all going on at the same time, and the combine too.
Fun times, Bobby Belair. I'm getting a little envious.
That's
Not
right.
quite the jealousy yet, but getting envious.
Yeah. Well, I'm envious of if you were a good sleeper, JD. I'm envious of that because we're going to lose a lot of sleep over the next couple of weeks.
We'll trade on it.
Yeah. So real quick, because I know your time's limited, man, and we promise not to keep you too late because you got to go back and do some more research on those players that we told you about earlier. How do you guys normally see these leaks coming out? Is it like agents trying to drum up, some activity for the player that they kind of represent? Is it, the club trying to get like this guy off their books? What's the typical way of you guys normally see stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're negotiating, there's all sorts of different ways that agents or even the club that you're negotiating with will try to either raise the price or benefit their situation. So as you can understand, we can't comment because then that gives a little bit of, if it's true, it gives a little bit of credence to whatever's going on, and it could, negatively affect the negotiations for us.
Right.
So, Lee, I love you, man, but
I ask you every time I see you, man. And
I know.
He told me last time he had 2 vowels in his name, so I really appreciate that because I narrowed it down big time.
Yeah. That's right.
Very clever, very clever.
Yep. So we'll ask you 2 or 3 more questions, man. We'll let you go. Okay. So Wesley's asking if you can explain the allocation money a little bit, right? And we see traded this person for a pick and dollar amount for allocation money. Do clubs have a certain allocation money, or is it unlimited based on how much you have in the bank?
That's a good question. So each club starts out with the same amount of allocation money to start the year. And so there's general allocation money. And so every club gets that, and you can use that over 3 transfer windows. So you can potentially save some of that money maybe for next year. And then there's targeted allocation money, and that is up to the owner's discretion. So essentially, if you present a good player that you want to bring in and you pitch it to your owner, and he is for it and allows you to go get that player, then you can spend up to the limit per year. So each club has that amount available, but they don't necessarily have to use that amount.
Okay. All right. And can you comment to this? I'm not sure if you might know or not. Will there be any players at the kit unveiling on Thursday or at the MLS?
Look, we encourage all of our fans to come out. It's going to be a fantastic event at Camp North End. We have a few different surprises for you. I don't want to ruin them right here, right now. Obviously, you're going to get to see the kit. I think there's going to be a few other things that you'll be able to see, people that you'll get to meet. I'll be there as well. Feel free to stop by and say hello.
Ask me a question like
what all of our staff, we're all people. We love people, and we love our fans. So come say hello. There's going to be a great experience seeing the kid, and I think you'll be happy with showing out on Thursday night.
Yeah, we're stoked, man. So one last final question, and then we'll ask a couple of silly questions because I think one of your buddies may be in here. Do you know McLean Reese by chance?
Oh, let's not give him any clout.
No. I was good. He's threw some questions in here that might be kind of personal.
Are they good?
I don't know. Something about a garden.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll let that slide then. So, can you tell us real quick, the difference between that you notice, and this is from Top Ben. So he asked this question as well, and I wanted to know myself too. What, to notice the difference between Charlotte and Atlanta working for them, how is it?
I think with any club that you work at, there's different cultures. And that always depends on the people that are working there, the coaching staff that you have. I think right now everything's really new, and until we start kicking the ball around, I'm not sure I have too many differences to provide. And obviously you have different owners, you have different partners, the Panthers or the Falcons. But at the end of the day, we're working towards the same goal, and that's to win an MLS Cup. We obviously want to pack out the stadium for that first home game on March 5th and try to break their record. So look, I'm hopeful. Atlanta did a fantastic job. I know that they're probably going to be our rivals, but you got to give them credit for what they've done and for the fans that they've retained. And so we hope that we can build that too. And that, 74,000 fans would be a fantastic accomplishment for this league, for this club. And I hope that everyone's on board to try to get that done with us.
Yeah, the Soccer Don said today, apparently we got about 45,000 tickets already sold for the home game.
Amazing, huh?
Good, and about 20,000 season tickets are sold. So
you just wait till after Christmas. Once we really start cranking, I'm serious though. Once the football season's over with, and the Hornets are doing their thing, and I'm glad with what they're doing. But MLS coming in early March, right when college basketball is going out too, and the party of it, the whole 2-hour set time. I'm telling you, people who haven't experienced, because I have not experienced it, but for what I've gathered over the last year and a half of doing this, I can't wait, and it's finally coming. Man. My God, it's finally coming. It's really good. It's going to be real.
It's going to be magical. I'll tell you what, and we're trying to get, imagine our first home game, then imagine, some pressure-filled games down the stretch where we're trying to push for the playoffs, and then imagine when we get to the playoffs.
We're going to win the league, man. There's going to be no pressure. We're just going to be up there.
Right,
what the other Cubs
It's
are
gonna be
gonna.
special. Like, we welcome everyone, whether you know soccer or not. You'll learn really quick in our first season. I'll tell you that. The same thing in Atlanta. Like, a lot of people did not know a lot about soccer, and they started coming to matches and they fell in love with it. So I hope the same thing happens here. And I know, looking at those numbers, like you just mentioned, Lee, it seems like it is.
Yeah. And one last question, man. That painting behind you. You want to give a shout out to anybody that might have?
Yeah, Mama B. So my mom is a brilliant artist. She painted this picture for me. And, I was talking with you guys before. I asked her for Christmas. My only gift is for her to keep paint paintings and fill out my house. So I bought a house about a year ago, loving it here in Charlotte, enjoying it. And mom's so talented that I had to, fill up the house with all her paintings.
So are you starting a gallery of your mother's paintings that you will, sell later, or are they all yours and they're not going anywhere else?
Oh, they're mine. They're mine.
Okay.
There's like,
but if someone wants something similar, then maybe we could work out a deal
Right now, there's a little bit of a waiting list. Like, people are asking my mom for paintings and they're in line, and
Isn't that the way it is these days? You can't find anything. Even when you want Bobby Belair's mother's paintings, there's still a waiting list. She's not on the show.
Yeah, give her one more shot. I mean, look how beautiful that is.
That is beautiful.
Changes the light,
the way the sun is hitting the snow-capped mountains.
That's right.
That's beautiful.
That's right.
Great, good work.
So, Bobby, man, anything you want to say before you drop off, man?
Look, I just think it's a special time to be part of this club. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun announcements coming up. I talked about a little bit of the schedule in the next couple of weeks. And so I know the fans have been waiting for so long for a lot of different things, player announcements, the kit launch, everything. And so we have a lot coming up soon. It's going to come fast and furious, and we can't wait for you guys to hop on board with us and join us. And we're all looking forward to it. We're working hard for everyone here in the community, and we just can't wait. So thank you all for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man, and we appreciate it too. And we look forward to the work in the upcoming weeks, man. You're gonna be busy, so I won't text you at midnight again. And
roller coaster.
That's right, JT.
Seriously, like crank it up to tomorrow night. That's gonna be like the first click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And then all the way to 3-5. It's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you for your time, Bobby.
No problem. We'll see you guys on Thursday night.
Yes, sir. We'll see you, Bobby. Take care, buddy.
All right, gentlemen. Take care.
Adios.
Well, that was fun. I tried to get some names thrown out there, but obviously I feel like we kind of knew we wasn't going to get them. So the kit, man, it comes out Thursday. Hopefully you guys already pre-ordered and get to pick it up Thursday night. So, I believe the authentic.
You can pick it up. I saw the link for you can pick it up that quick.
Yeah, I think they're going to have it. I'm sure. Well,
they're going to have it there, right? Duh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost have gone to one of the local stores recently, I guess, and picked it up yourself. So, but yeah, so for the live show and stuff coming up with the draft and the super draft, we're going to do a live show. We're going to have somebody at the stadium. So we're going to have a man on the street so we can get some stuff there. We're going to have people back in the studio doing the studio stuff. We're going to be streaming as the picks are happening. So it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can pull this off. Yep. So back to the shirts. Coach Pat says if it's pre-ordered, you can only pick it up. It will not ship, which kind of sucks, right? And yes, I believe Dick's is on the 10th, is what I've been hearing as well. And so, yeah, that's it, man. That's about all that's happening. We got a lot of stuff about to happen. Players. JT, man, you're gonna have to be ready for the breaking news desk.
I am ready. I feel like I had a respite over Thanksgiving and stuff, and I'm ready to go. And again, a year and a half ago, when the team was first launched, and that hot ass summer day, to now seriously, I really do feel like, Christmas kind of backs things up, but like the roller coaster is starting. It's the click, 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 and man, March 5th will be here before we know it. It's gonna be awesome.
That's right, man. So, yeah, there's a lot of things about going. Next show, Chris, as we said, we were going to do this. I believe we will do it on the 14th, which is a week from today. We're going to do it live as the drafts are going on. So I believe that I think it's either 7 to 8 p.m. So we'll have WSOC TV streaming. We'll have somebody on the street getting the getting the fans' response from the stadium, and obviously we'll do what we do here. So if you guys can't actually make it to the stadium, we'll make sure that we got you guys covered there. So that's it, man. So lots of stuff happening. You know, it would be nice to pick Bobby's brain for a little longer, but he's got to go to sleep apparently. So that's it, man. We're gonna cut this one short, I believe. And you know, guys, we appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't already, hit the sub button for us, subscribe, share, like, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you next week. Take care, guys.
Catch you next